Oh, it is Virgo season coming in, and I am sitting out here on the eve of the new moon in Virgo, which comes in very early in the AM here on the East Coast, about 4:17 a.m., I believe. And I just put the finishing touches on energy flow plan for our energy within our business for this lunar cycle, and just wanted to go over a few fun things. So the way that I do these energy flow plans is basically this is like a dashboard. Your energetic dashboard, the dashboard that helps you control energy output and input in this vehicle you call a human body. And your mind body system operates on energy, just like everything else. And so, how do you optimize that energy that is available? Direct energy from the way that the earth is aligned with the planets. So, that's why it's relevant as we come into a new moon. And this is a time where, the moon is at its darkest right now. And it goes into it goes into new moon status, and it's really an opportunity to take in that experience, that electromagnetic experience, and ground in some intentions. And so I allow my intuition and my creativity to come in, and it helps me look at three opportunities to really engage the mind body system and optimize getting as much energy as possible. So looking at the 5 elements, or tattvas as we call them in yogic science: earth, air, fire, ether, and water. And then looking at the chakra system, the chakras, right? And looking just basically at the seven primary chakras, if you will. And, which of those 7 chakras needs, or, is out of balance, or needs attention, or really, hey, this is a chakra I want to focus on harnessing the power of for this lunar cycle, because it makes sense in the business based on what we're trying to birth, or what we're trying to structure, restructure, organize, whatever it is. And then we also have these 10 energetic bodies, and they're listed here as part of the energy flow plan. So always for quick reference, but this is really, your entire energetic anatomy is not just a physical body. It's more than that. It's, again, the mind, and the mind is in kind of these 3 working parts: the negative, the positive, and then getting into that neutral mind. How are you amplifying all of these bodies, right? So again, we need a dashboard, right? Because we had a lot to wield, and it's really exciting, and it's really empowering when you can command this at will, and when you feel that, when you really experience that. It is a sense of self-dignity and inner caliber that you can't unlearn, and that nobody can take away from you, including you. And that's really key. So this lunar cycle, Virgo, there's so much to say about the energy of Virgo, but kind of the archetype of Virgo is like meticulous, right? That's kind of like the cliche kind of, what's in mainstream media. But taking from that is really like an underlying message around, what are the areas in life that you can organize right now. And I truly know and have experienced, it's been my own experience, that when I'm disorganized, I'm distracted. When I'm disorganized, and my definition of disorganized could be very different than yours, but when I feel that, it's unsettling. and my nervous system, I start to go into fight or flight. And that's true for everybody. You know, again, your definition of organization could be vastly different than the next person's, but that sense of feeling disheveled it's a nervous system response, right? It's a neurological experience, being disheveled, feeling disorganized, feeling cluttered. And so using this energy this month is, you know, I'm looking at first the tattva of the earth. The earth offers us an element of grounding. And that's one activity you can do, is get out and actually get into the earth and ground. And I have some great materials on actually the practice of grounding. It's a beautiful exercise, and I would highly recommend for this entire lunar cycle doing it daily. So it could be feet in the sand, feet in the water, feet in the grass, hands in the earth, hands in the dirt, hands in a plant, rubbing a tree, something right in nature. And in addition, looking now at the chakras is rooting in, root, right? Root. So your ability to really open up and to create and to materialize your vision is about first being in what we call in physiology a parasympathetic dominance. What does that mean? Your parasympathetic nervous system is responsible for rest and relax, and it is actually our natural state as a species. It's this parasympathetic nervous system that allows us to secrete hormones that keep our body in homeostasis. Blood pressure never gets too high or too low. Body temperature never gets too high or too low. Everything's kind of in this beautiful equilibrium, and that's parasympathetic dominance. And it feels amazing. It's not like rest, like I have to go to sleep rest, right? It's a relaxed state. It's this ideal state. Even your musculature is at an ideal state, not in stretch and not in contract. It's just perfectly. So at any moment, you can take action from a very clean, clear body. When you're relaxed, you're open. When you're open, you can receive opportunity. So how do we get into parasympathetic dominance? It starts with taking a sober look at our lives, but also a sober look at our stability. And our stability is not something we get externally. Our stability is something we find on the inside. When we understand that we actually have everything we require already within us to be safe. And then no external person, no amount of money in the bank account, no job, nothing is going to give us that inner security that we desire, because everything is temporary, including these bodies. But we give ourselves that sense of security when we understand that anything we want to create, anything that we want to experience, anything that we want to feel, we can, just like that. So getting that root chakra really nourished this lunar cycle will allow you to get into that parasympathetic dominance, which then opens you up. And then looking at the energetic anatomy is experiencing more, you know, this is such a highly creative time. This is such a highly productive time. And so really to take that creativity and listen to the intuition and channel that into right action, and then actually take that action, it requires stamina. And it requires strength, and it requires focus. And it also requires really supporting the part of your energetic anatomy that we refer to as the arc line. And the arc line is kind of the halo. And it's your stored potential. It's like everything you've ever dreamed of, thought of, everything you're supposed to be here to do. It's all here. Right? And it's like taking this communication between the divine and you as a human, and then taking that, mixing it up with your sensory system, and then having an output for it. And that's service. So some of the things that, you know, you can start with is, again, it's just clean out a sock drawer, clean out that kitchen drawer, right? Like just get rid of some clutter. Maybe it's mental clutter. So there's just so many things on this dossier to dive into for this lunar cycle. I'm really excited about it. Another thing is when you are not stabilized in your root chakra, or you're not kind of spinning the energy of the root chakra, right? The base of you. you notice you have more sugar cravings because the body's in fight or flight. When you're in fight or flight, your body is sensing like it's going to have a massive physical output. So it's going to need a massive amount of glucose. It's going to need a massive amount of like consumption, quick energy available to the muscles to do that work. But again, it's about stamina. This is the long game, having a vision to take those things that are in your arc line and put them forth. And it may not be an overnight thing. It isn't an overnight thing. So do a 72-hour self-experiment and just take a look at a few things. What time of day are you experiencing that sweet tooth? If you are, and likely you are. And what is triggering it? And then what are you daydreaming about? Is there like a specific sweet treat that you daydream about? And get sober with this, get your head around it. And then it's a you and you game. So you can then determine, hey, you know what? When I eat this, it depletes me. Or when I think about doing this or having this treat, it depletes me. So clean that up, scoop back that energy. So that I went on for a long time, but this is just such a fun lunar cycle, and enjoy this is our business plan. This is our private business plan, but we love sharing this out with our community every month as just an example. But if you want a personal energy flow plan for yourself or for your business, let us know, and we can set up a bioenergetic session and do an intake, and I'll do a whole bioenergetic reading and then create an energy flow plan for you. Elite Mystique Agency. You can find us right at the website, elitemystiqueagency.com. Peace out. Happy new moon in Virgo.